Thanks for tuning in to Path to Rome. Today we're going to talk about the real reason why I bought the Bluetti AC180, and it's probably not as simple as you think. If you like what you see, leave us a like, leave us a comment, let us know how we're doing. We want to keep bringing great content to a screen near you. So last summer we camped as a family. And when you pile in all the things that kids need to sleep well, have lights, all the things that they need to have fun at a campsite, I realized that I needed to invest in something that would give us power, like a power station or something to that matter. So I started doing some research. And as we were headed into the fall and the winter, I wasn't too worried about it. So flash forward to our adventure to one of the darkest places on Earth. I knew I needed something that I could use to run power to the cameras all night long in order to get the shots that I wanted. I only did a limited amount of research and I ended up buying two smaller Bluetti boxes as I thought it would be more manageable with the space. Now you can check out that video, I linked it below in the description, but you'll see that I did make some mistakes with those boxes. And when using them, sure enough, they did fail me. So I went back to the drawing board and decided to get something a little bit bigger and a whole heck of a lot more powerful. And I learned a lot about power stations when doing that research. And then after all that, this exact unit seemed like exactly what I needed. And it gives me a whole lot more. So if this sounds like you at all, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you every reason why I bought the Bluetti AC180 and exactly what it can do for you too. So a big question I ask myself is, do I really need something like this? So I plan to spend a lot of time off-road, off the grid, and pack everything I need into my Jeep Rubicon Unlimited, which isn't a tremendous amount of space. And all this includes cooking, lighting, other gear, battery chargers, whatever I need to keep all the stuff I have moving while I'm on my adventures so that I can film and actually enjoy camping while I'm out there. Now, I do have my fridge hardwired to my battery in the Jeep, but I really don't want to put too much strain on that while I'm out there all on my own, because the last thing I want to do is get stranded because I cooked my battery. So let's dive into this unit, the Bluetti AC180, and talk a little bit about why it might be the perfect power station for you. So again, this is the Bluetti AC180. It's an 1800 watt and an 1152 watt hours with the ability to charge from 0 to 80% in as fast as 45 minutes depending on the source. Charging is compatible with solar, AC, car, or a generator. And at only 36 pounds, it makes this very portable and easy to store, especially when space is incredibly limited in your Jeep. And when space is limited, you have to decide what you can bring, what you can't bring, what you really need, what you really don't. Now, I plan to use this for a ton of things. I have cameras and all kinds of tablets and phones and different things that I need to charge to power the stuff that I bring on my adventure to film. Now, I also have lights for when I'm camping. I have a diesel heater. I have cooking stuff, all kinds of different things that we're going to use that this thing is going to be a workhorse for. Look, this power station, it's incredibly easy to turn on. Switch modes, read the screen, and it also has a great app that goes along with it to make it really easy to monitor via Bluetooth, which we're going to go over a little bit later in this video. Here you can see the percentage left and the time left at the current output. Now this is a pretty awesome piece of feedback because whatever you're running gives you an idea how long you can go for, and it obviously changes based on whatever the draw is. So this is a 15 amp output machine, which can cover most things you're going to throw at it. My goal is to use this while camping off the grid, but it can certainly come in handy at home whenever needed. As you can see, 4 AC plugs, USB, and a USB-C plug. And here's your input for a solar charger. Now, I'm going to choose the car charging option, which we're also going to talk about in a little bit. This thing comes equipped with a wireless charger on top, which is super easy to set your phone on. These great handles, which make it very easy to move around, and then the AC input up on here on the side to charge it. This thing comes complete with AC charging cable, solar panel hookups, and then a car charger. Now this is not the car charger I was talking about. So let's take a quick look and just see how this thing discharges so you can kind of see what I was talking about, percentages and then time left. I'm just gonna plug in a charger that I had for my Milwaukee batteries, just so we can kind of get an idea of what this thing does. So we'll switch on AC, being that we're using the AC plugs, and it shows a 54 or 53%, and whatever the output is, these hours are going to change. So it tells us we got 61.5 hours based on our zero draw here. So go ahead and plug this thing in. So as you see our output creeping up, you see how, and this is pulling right around 53, 52, bouncing around. And at this rate, charging this battery, I have about 8 hours left of power at this current draw of output. Now, if we're to plug something in that's going to take a ton more power, it's going to have a larger impact on that. This is going to go down a lot faster, and then our time left is going to be a whole lot less, which seems pretty self-explanatory. So as you can see, you have different inputs and outputs along with your percentage. And as you can see, this will match up with what's on the screen. And you can turn on your DC as well as your AC. And you get these cool little lines to show you what's going on. Go up to your settings, and there's a lot of different things you can change on the unit. One of them being power mode. And this is where you can kind of get whatever you want out of the unit. So let's go ahead and plug this Milwaukee charger back in, and you can see how this replicates what you see on your screen of the actual unit itself. So as you can see, we still have the AC and DC on, but we're going to go ahead and use AC for this test. Now, I know I talked about car charging, and you're probably wondering what I have planned. Let me introduce to you the Bluetti Car Charger One. This charger hardwires directly to the battery of your vehicle and can deliver 560 watts of power and charge a 1,000 kilowatt hour power station in about 2.5 hours. Now, this is about 6 times faster than a traditional car charger. Now, you're probably wondering, being that I already talked about worrying about straining my battery, how this thing actually works. So, it's got a whole lot of technology built into it, so it only draws excess power from your charging system while your vehicle is running. It will not draw power from your battery when the vehicle is not running. And this protects your battery and keeps you safe when you're out in the middle of nowhere. What this means for me is when I'm out in the middle of the trail and I'm going from campsite to campsite throughout the day, because I like to get out and explore, not necessarily just sit and camp all day long, I can recharge that Bluetti AC180 in a little bit over 2 hours. Well, I'm just driving around anyway. Now, the main reason I went with this charging application versus the solar panels is, again, because I prefer to go out and explore and be moving through the trail or maybe onto my next destination, and don't really want to spend the entire day sitting there trying to charge my power station. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't invest in some solar panels down the road, because ultimately, sometimes that's a better fit for when you're just hanging out at a camp place all day and it can just sit and do its thing. So we're going to look at the unit in a second, but it's incredibly simple. Here's the Car Charger One, and you go ahead and mount this to make it accessible to charge. Comes with some mounting hardware and some connection pieces. And then this large wire spool, which I believe is 10 gauge if I remember correctly, with a 60 amp breaker, and then the rest of the plug-in connection pieces. Run your wire harness wherever you need to in your vehicle. It's incredibly easy to plug your main source of power into this, and then as well as your output power. So in the next few days, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing installed in the Jeep, and we're going to go out camping for a night and test everything out. Now, I also got a diesel heater that I'm going to give a run, and I have some pretty cool new electric cookware that we're going to use to cook off of our power station. So we'll be able to test a lot of things out that night and see how this thing holds up, see how the charging holds up, and we'll have a good time. Now, I also bought this bag case thing off Amazon. I linked it below. It's actually a perfect fit for the unit, and it'll help protect it when we're going down the trail and I'm trying to keep everything nice and safe inside the Jeep. So go ahead and check out, we got some links below for the car charger as well as the unit itself. If you use those links, we do get a small commission, and that helps our channel grow and helps us keep bringing great content to you. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, leave us a comment below if you've had any experience with this or if you have any questions about everything that goes into this unit.